All right, you welcome back to this class. So still on ratios of general angle. So in this section, we'll be looking at the second quadrant. In the last section, we considered the first quadrant. So in the second quadrant, we have two figures now. Here's figure 1 and here's figure 2. So this center O, or preferably, let me write it here, center O. Then this is P2, that's point 2, that's on the circumference. Then here along the negative x-axis, remember this is the positive x-axis, so we have n1. So definitely this will be ON1 will be negative x, right? Good. Why? This is still y, right? And why is it y? Because this is the positive y-axis and this is negative y-axis. So, and this is 1, right? Good. So from here, let's create an angle. The angle with OP2 makes with what? The positive x-axis, right? Is what? Theta 2. Let's call it theta 2. Theta 2. That's the angle OX makes with OP2 is theta 2. So that means the angle making this what? Right angle triangle OP2N1 is theta 2. That's the angle. So from there we can observe that what? Sine theta 2 will give us what? Will give us y from SOHCAHTOA opposite to hypotenuse. Then also we have cos theta 2 will give us what? Negative x. That's adjacent to hypotenuse from this triangle, right? Then we also have tan theta 2 will give us what? Negative y over x, which is same thing as negative y over x, because actually what it is that it is opposite over adjacent, but really this is the better way to write it, negative y over x, right? Good. So if you look at this second figure, one thing we can observe is that this theta 2 is the same as, remember this is our x and this is like our what? P2, right? This was our P1, right? Good. In the first quadrant. So here, and remember in the first quadrant, this is theta 1. Remember, if you remember in the first quadrant, this is theta 1. If you can't remember, just go back to the previous section. You will see that this was theta 1. Then here now, the angle this makes with is theta 2, right? Now what is left to complete 180? Theta 1. Are you with me now? Good. Is left because this angle O XOP1 is equal to what? Negative XO, because this center O, this center O, P2. So now from there we can conclude that what from this second figure we can conclude that theta 1 plus theta 2 give us what? 180 degrees, right? So that implies that what? Theta 2 equals to what? 180 degrees minus what? Theta 1. Are you there now? Good. So now let's now come back. Let's now relate this and this together and see what is telling us, right? Good. Now what's sine theta 2 is what? Y. So remember theta 2 is what? 180 minus theta 1, right? Good. Remember this theta 2 and theta 2 is also what? 180 minus theta 1. So I can conclude that what? Sine what? Theta 2 is the same thing as what? Sine 180 minus theta 1, which is equal to what? Y. Do you understand? Good. Are you with me now? And remember in the first quadrant, remember I told you that you should take note that in the first quadrant, sine theta 1 is equals to y, cos theta 1 is equals to what? X, and what? Tan theta 1, that's in the first quadrant, equals to what? Y over x. So remember, this was the conclusion in the first quadrant. I told you to take note of that. So now you can see y is same thing as what? Sin theta 1. So that means this is same thing as what? Sin theta 1. Are you with me? Good. So now from there we also have that what? This is cos theta 2. Cos theta 2. What will cos theta 2 give us? That will be cos 180 minus theta 1, which will give us what? Negative x. Because cos theta 2 is negative x. From here you can see this is cos theta 2 is negative x, right? Good. So from there, remember, cos theta 2 is what? Negative x. And here cos theta 1 is x. So we can conclude that what? This is what? Negative cos theta 1. Cos theta 2 is negative cos theta 1 in the second quadrant, right? Good. Then let's come to tan. Tan theta what? 2. Isn't it? Good. So now, what's tan theta 2? Tan theta 2 is 180 minus theta 1, which will give us what? Which will give us negative y over what? X. Isn't it? Good. And remember that this is y over x is expressed as what? Tan theta 1. So we can conclude that what? This is what? Negative tan theta 1. Negative tan theta 1. So what's the conclusion? The conclusion is that sine from what we have done here, we can see that sine theta 2 equals to what? Sine theta 1 in the second quadrant. Second quadrant. It's important to note all these things. Then we also see that what? Cos theta 2 equals what? Negative cos theta 1. Then we can also see that what? Tan theta 2 will give us what? Negative tan theta 1. So this is another thing to take note of in the second quadrant. Remember, this was the first quadrant. This was the first quadrant. First quadrant. So now we have the second quadrant. We have the second quadrant now to take note of. So these are ratios of general angle work in the second quadrant. All right, good. So this comes to the end of this section. So this was brought to you by Clever Minds. Thank you for your time, and you have a great day.